as well. The other person that's been right on top of this for us, Caroline Frost, entertainment journalist, joins me right now. Good afternoon again to you, Caroline.
Good afternoon, Mark. 48 hours ago, we thought this story might be finishing, but here we are.
Well, I mean, it's just not just ongoing. I mean, there's more and more, seemingly by the hour.
Oh, it's mushrooming. I would say probably much to ITV's displeasure. So, I mean, it's only just over a week ago that Phillip Schofield quietly, seamlessly stepped down from his role co-presenting the show. On Friday we spoke because of the extraordinary statement that he made about his, what did he call it? Illegal, but not illegal, but
unwise.
Yes, unwise. I think that's a meme for the era, isn't it? And now it's about who knew what, when did they know it, and what did they do about it? Or if not, why not? So big questions to be asked at all the layers of management involved. And of course, it's not just this morning anymore. We know about loose women becoming part of this list of inquiry because the young man was moved onto loose women after he departed this morning. So yes, my goodness, where do we go next?
Well, I'll tell you where we'll go next. We'll go to where Eamonn Holmes went next, which was to tell us all more of his thoughts on all of this. Eamonn, of course, one of the biggest daytime stars in this country, one of the most loved and favourite, and along with his wife. And even Eamonn thought it's time I said something too. We might have frozen. That's Caroline. Well, her surname's Frost, so that's probably why she's frozen. Oh, sorry. I was just saying, Caroline, with a name like Frost, I don't expect you to freeze on a day like this.
No, I know. Very good. I'm sorry. I thought we were going to hear from Eamonn. Yes. Well, I mean, gosh, he launched. What did he do? It was a strange interview because I found it a little bit confusing. On the one hand, he said everyone knew, and it was a thing that went right to the top. And then in almost the same breath, he said he and Ruth didn't know. Of course, he was at pains to say that he and Ruth had in fact tried to help this young man. So, I mean, whatever the specifics, he's painting a picture of a whole just room of discontent and people. He said he was speaking on behalf of people who've been too scared to speak out in the past. He called Phillip Schofield a list of names, including chief narcissist. He said the power and fame had gone to his head and corrupted him. So a very personal attack on the one hand against Phillip Schofield, but also he painted a much harsher picture of the whole ecosystem behind those happy smiley doors at ITV in general.
But so where does ITV, and now the responsibility for all of this is with the management and the board and the chief executive, Caroline McCall and Martin Frizzell and Kevin Ligo. I mean, I guess one of the problems they might have at the moment is that there is they're having to play catch up all the time with newspapers who are far ahead with this story than obviously the executive board know about.
Yeah, I mean, they have come out fighting. They've said, they asked the question when various people, we know that Dan Wootton said he went to management back in 2019 before he left ITV. There are others who voiced their concerns about behaviours. Dr. Ranj Singh at the weekend made an impassioned statement about his concerns about what was going on at this place of work. So, yeah, so they are saying that they asked the questions, they got the no, it's all fine, there's nothing to worry about that they needed to hear. And so business carried on as usual. The numbers were still good. The advertisers were still happy. Nothing to see here. The big question will be, and I'm sure that there will have to be almost an inquiry about the inquiry, will be how much did they know? There's a difference, as we know, Mark, in journalism. It's a kind of elective knowledge, right? So the difference between not knowing something and a kind of willful ignorance, and we've seen it all too many times. It suits people not to know stuff. We know this in all businesses, and media is no exception. And here we are. They're finding themselves very much on the back foot because every single day we're seeing more videos, more pictures proving that people like Holly Willoughby, she may not have known about the affair, but she certainly was friendly with this young man. We've seen that in pictures of kisses and hugs at award ceremonies in public spaces. And the point they're making is that he was getting, well, we know about the affair, but also now Eamonn Holmes is laying more allegations of very preferential treatment, cabs to and from work. So none of it is playing out very well. There is no redeeming aspect to this story. And yes, ITV, the onus is very much on them to prove that it was kind of okay in the past, if it was, but certainly that they are taking steps to make sure none of this happens again.
Well, I mean, you know, it's the sort of thing that with their silence at the moment, okay, perhaps they do think there might be more to come out, but I can't believe they've had not had the bottle to come and say something here, because it's vitally important that they do. Either they're getting absolutely advised in totally the wrong way, because it's all very well at times, I understand completely, in crisis management to keep silent, but they obviously don't know what other people have got and where they've got this from and who's been tipping them off with this, that the whole place is obviously totally untrustworthy.
I know. Well, I mean, what do you do when somebody like Phillip Schofield comes out with a statement saying there was no toxicity, and anybody who says there is somebody who has had a long time grudge against me, and you shouldn't believe them.
Yeah.
But he's a man who has apologised for multiple repeated incidents of lying and deceit for a number of years. So his statements to that effect are worth toffee. And quite rightly, nobody is taking it with anything other than a pinch of salt. But it does leave you, as you say, how do you begin to track what's accurate when you can't trust any of the witnesses involved?
And
I mean, it's very, very, it's almost, I would say, unprecedented. I would say that lightly. I'm sure listeners and viewers will suddenly think of another example when this is proved to be the case, but I can't think of anything of quite this magnitude before.
No, I can't. And one of the other things today with the newspapers, again, showing pictures of why Holly had to have known this young man, that she's with her husband and it's not actually at a ceremony or sitting at a table where somebody has just gone up to her that she didn't even know and try to give her a peck on. It gives her just a kiss on the cheek, this young man. And so she obviously knows. She obviously knows who he is and what it's all about.
But he was, on paper, Phillip Schofield's personal assistant, I think, at some point. So that in itself is not a smoking gun. But for sure, she will be hoping. I mean, she's gone very silent on all of this as well. This is a bunch of they're people, on the one hand, we shouldn't forget.
No, of course.
They're also corporate brands, right? So Holly has a list of lucrative campaigns with her name. She is the figurehead of all of these campaigns and products with stakeholders involved. Today, I think she very quietly, I have to say, released a new beauty brand. Not much talk of that. And she wasn't coming out campaigning for that. So that's a lot of money down the Swanee for somebody who's put their money behind that. But she is the golden girl of ITV, and it will just be a case of what would you advise Holly Willoughby if you were her crisis manager? Sit it out, come back in smiling, nothing to see here. She's damned if she does, and she's damned if she doesn't. Yeah,
I don't see where she goes herself from this. Anyway, she hasn't got to go too far, has she, to ask her agent to sort something new out for her, if that's the possibility, or whether there is any way further forward for her. I mean, time is a great healer, as we know. Just finally on all of this, when do you expect us to hear from the executive at ITV?
Well, they're being doorstepped on an hourly basis. Kevin Lygo, who is another golden leader of ITV, I mean, he's presided over an era of success. I don't think he was expecting any of this when he came out supporting Phillip Schofield with his promises of another primetime show, a return to the soap awards. 10 days is a long time in entertainment, it seems. So it's going to be another long week for him, I'm sure. Well, and for the rest of them. And Caroline, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Caroline Frost with her latest on this. Got anything that you would like to say about it? Of course, do get in touch.